It is Heinrich himself, Mark in Los Angeles, California. How are you doing, man?
Well, it's good to be on the Hake and Snake show again.
Indeed.
I see your co-host just hung up.
He did.
Why don't just make him your co-host and make it official? All this time you give that low life, and I can't get 5 minutes. Listen, I called not to talk about Satan,
All
the
right.
snake. I called to talk about the new head of the new CEO of NPR, National Public. I think it's National Public Radio. The taxpayer-funded communist group.
Yes.
Okay, this woman, her name is Mahar, Maher. You got to look this demon up.
You know, I heard a little bit about her on American Anchor Baby yesterday, I think, right? Anchor Baby? Did anybody? I think I saw clips of her on Anchor Baby.
Okay, she's the devil, man.
Mar, I think is how it's pronounced. Mar.
Yeah, Mar.
Yeah.
Like Bill Maher.
Right.
And
not a Christian.
I don't know. Pardon?
I don't think she's a Christian. It's not a Christian last name.
No, she's definitely not a Christian. She's a Christ killer. But
come on. I disavow that for the sake of the channel. Come on, man. Because Christ said, forgive them for they know not what they do. And I think that included the killers of them. So why should we hold it against them if Christ didn't hold it against them?
Well, they don't accept him as their personal savior.
That's irrelevant to whether we should hold it against them that their forefathers, was it Ashkenazi Jews who were behind taking out Jesus?
Well, it was the Pharisees and the scribes.
It was the spirit of it. I think it's a moot point to bring that part up.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if she was alive, I believe this. I can't prove it, but I believe that if she was alive 2,000 years ago, she would have joined in on the crucifixion of our Lord. That's my opinion. I can't prove it, but her attitude today is just as evil as that snake you just got done talking to. And I think the public should know our taxpayer money is going to these demons. They hate whites. You should read her comments about white people. She hates white men. That's the way all these liberal single women are the biggest. Pardon?
She looks like a mildly attractive or quite attractive white lady is what's sort of interesting. But you're right.
Yeah,
I mean, but that doesn't mean anything, honestly, because whites hate whites, blacks hate blacks, everybody hates everybody.
Well, white liberal women who are single are the biggest dopes that shouldn't be allowed to vote.
No, that's not true, man. I don't think that's true. I think even the white liberal single or the white single women are not as bad. Maybe they're just as bad, but they're not as off the deep end, out of their mind as the POC women who are maybe especially the ones who are in that category of single. Seriously.
Well, the difference is there's more single white women than Negro women.
Oh.
So the numbers would give it to the white women as far as the guilt, self-hate complex. And I think that's the reason they vote Democrat. They hate white men so bad.
Yeah.
They want to see us destroyed.
Right.
I look at them as more evil than the POC women, although the POC women are rotten too.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the voting patterns, like the black females in Alabama voted 98% for Doug Jones over Judge Roy Moore for that Senate race several years ago.
I remember that, and Judge Roy Moore wanted to put the 10 Commandments in front of the courthouse, but devils like the one you just had on the phone, those kind of characters are the ones that go to court to have our Christian rights taken away. I'm not saying Satan did that, but he supports it. Everything he supports, and you give him time to spew his poison, is anti-white, and it's pro-communist. He's a half-breed. He's married to a white woman. What more do I need to say? I mean, come on, enough said. But I'll tell you why you don't ban him. It's a combination of white guilt and black privilege. White guilt on your end, black privilege with that scumbag. That's why he's not banned.
No, you're misreading the situation, man. I only ban people.
If I had your show, he'd have been banned on day one, forever.
But
he would have been. Pardon?
I don't know, man. But you're misreading the situation.
White guilt on your end.
How so? How do you figure white guilt
on his end?
Black privilege on his end? No,
yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
You're misreading the situation.
He can get away with whatever he wants to do on the phone. On the phone here,
I ban people for being messy, gossipy, and vulgar.
I was never any of those three, but I was.
I interpreted what you were doing as messy and gossipy, and I must have misinterpreted it.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
But compared to what this evil man has said and called me names on your show, and I don't care. I could take the names. He's a
yeah,
weasel.
because you guys call each other names, and I don't mind a little name calling. I'm for that, and I encourage all people to get over being slandered or criticized or having false witness borne against you. Or somebody misreading you, so that you don't have to call in and defend yourself every single time. That's not interesting, you know. That's not mature.
I just heard you say a few minutes ago to the creep that you're not going to defend me, and I don't expect you to. But the point is, he's allowed.
Well,
to do
I wasn't defending because it's a waste of time to like try to talk sense into somebody who has a judgment against you. That's why I wasn't going to defend you. I was going to explain your support for that Commander Rockwell, you call him.
I love Rockwell.
And so I was going to explain.
The white man since Jesus.
Yeah, I was going to explain that guy, according to you, wasn't anything to do with whatever was happening in Germany. He was just being shock value pro-American nationalism. Right. And but there's no use trying to reason with him. That's why I said I wasn't going to defend you.
So then why don't you just ban the guy?
Why? Why should I ban him?
Because he spews communism.
I know, but
race mixing.
I know, but that's his.
Scholars. Everybody hates him. I mean, he's got a few knuckleheads I read in the comment section that like him, but they're probably evil just like him. I would ban him. I would have banned him like he would ban you. He would ban you if he could.
I know. That's why I try to be a little careful with him, because he is he does support censorship of some of the most decent people and taking them down in court. Of course.
Then you have to censor him.
No, not necessarily, man.
Censor him.
That's
not. Did it to me.
That's not
and
necessarily.
You don't even know why.
That's not necessarily the answer.
Well, what is then? To let him spew his poison every day for 40 minutes? He's conning
that's an exaggeration, man.
He's got you conned. He's conned you into thinking.
I know, but you're crazy if you think that's white guilt. That's pretty insane.
Pardon me?
You're crazy if you think that's white guilt. You're in your imagination.
What would you call it?
I would call it.
Put up with it for a second.
I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I'm sitting on
white guilt. That's
ridiculous.
Well, you haven't banned him.
I've banned plenty of blacks.
He's the worst. I mean, most of the blacks that call in have very low IQs. Not to say that he's any genius.
But my point is, you and he are the same.
No way.
Yeah, spiritually you're the same.
I love Trump. He hates Trump.
I know,
I love the white race. He hates the white race.
But you don't actually love love either, because you have hatred, and he has hatred. You're both trying to be Christian, but
the only thing I hate, Mr. Hake, is race mixing and communism.
Yeah,
and any red-blooded American would hate those things too.
No, not necessarily. Hate as in
you're
reject.
A decent patriot. Pardon?
Hate as in reject, but not hate with this emotional hate, passionate hate.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because
however you want to describe
you definitely have a but you're passionate about this stuff. Like you're so bad that you were trying to imagining that I was a secret communist, and now you're trying to accuse me of having white guilt for not banning Joe. You haven't even told me why I should ban Joe, other than that he spews lies all the time, and I address a lot of his lies, and I tell people all the time that you can't trust anything that he says, nor can you trust anything.
Why put him on?
Because
you put him on for 40 minutes.
Because I
40
disagree
minutes.
with him. Because I disagree with him, and I like to disagree with people, and it's more interesting. And he's not saying he's like a slick communist, and it's interesting to talk to slick communists.
He's a fraud and a con man.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
He's a fraud and a con man, and you allow him to use you, and it can't be described. Nothing personal. I think you're a great guy, so I don't want you to take it personal. But it's white guilt on your end, and he uses his black privilege to get over on you. And
the only thing that you're saying that I accept is I allow him to use me. Like, that part I can hear, I can understand.
Why?
Because I get sucked into arguments sometimes.
He has no valid points. He hates Trump.
I know that.
No, but I mean, he supports these rigged trials. He wants to imprison the political opposition in Biden that this devil supports, so they can eventually genocide us. That's the goal.
I disavow any mention of genocide. That's a liberal word anyway. I don't encourage you to embrace that word. I get that you're using a liberal word against the liberals because the liberals are doing to the whites what they accuse the whites of doing to other people. But I disavow that word. They don't want you banned, and do you know why they don't want you banned from the Hake Report? Because you pop off at the mouth so bad sometimes, and you express your freedom of speech, but we don't have freedom of speech in America. You well know that, and
right.
So they want you to pop off and get me banned.
Oh, that won't happen. I'm aware of that. And I never use the N-word on your show. I don't use, only once did I use profanity. That was when I was debating Satan, and he baited me, and I fell for Satan's bait, and I apologized for that.
Yeah.
But you didn't ban me for it, but it was a mistake on my end. And one other thing I want to say before I forget.
All right.
I was unreasonable with you when you didn't take my call 3 weeks ago. It's your show, and I respect that. The only reason I got mad is because I had so much to say, and I had to hold up for an hour. Then you put the 20% IQ rate lady from Dayton to fill your airtime with absolutely nothing. He had nothing to offer. And I had to sit through listening to that, instead of having me on. But that's okay. It's your show, and I have respect for that. And I don't want to get you banned. And it won't happen. I won't get you banned.
The low IQ people are entertaining, and if you calm down, you may learn to appreciate Maze, even though she may be evil. I think she is evil, but you may learn something from her because she has some criticisms for whites that are valid. Even if she herself is not this fair-minded person that she pretends to be.
The lady that you had put on, 2 weeks ago, she was the black woman on the O.J. Simpson case where she admitted they knew he was guilty and let him go anyway. Remember that little clip that you played?
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Okay. That's May. That's who Maze is.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that clip. Yeah, the juror.
Okay, that wasn't Maze.
But the same type of spirit.
Same evil spirit.
Yeah.
And one other thing, this equity business, equity equals revenge. Revenge on Whitey. Equity equals revenge. And in regards to a word you don't like, genocide, you talk to any white ex-con, any white man that's been in prison.
Yeah.
And they're already trying to genocide our white brothers in jail. Now, I'm not a criminal. I don't support. I know men make mistakes and they go to prison. But when a white man goes to prison in a dominated prison of Negroes, his life's on the line every day.
I've heard.
So you call it genocide. That's fine if you don't want to call it that.
Right.
But in the end, they're out to kill us.
I do know that they have a hatred. They're brainwashed into directing their hatred, especially towards whites, even though it starts in the home. And I get that. And I heard that the Aryan Nation or whatever, the white prison gang, Aryan Brotherhood, I heard that it was founded because so many whites were getting R-worded by blacks in these prisons. And that's why they founded it, to protect their fellow man. That's wild.
Well,
it wasn't founded out of white supremacy. It was founded to protect themselves. That's what I heard.
It is. It's true. But if you go back far enough in history, the KKK was formed for the exact same reason. They weren't in prison, but they were under the rule of feeble-minded Negroes who didn't know how to run government under the Reconstruction.
Yeah.
And that's why the Klan was originally formed. And I beg to differ with you, but they were liberators. They were liberators. And I got one last question. I know your time's running up close to music time. I've asked you this before, so I'm going to ask you this again. I don't remember what you said. If that clown in Phoenix had the power to ban you, do you think he would?
Yeah.
Then why don't you ban him then? You know he's out to get you. Why don't you just tell him, hey, Joe, go find somebody else. Go call NPR. No, really, I tell him, get out of my air. Get off my air. Go spread your communism in the ghettos somewhere. We don't need it here.
Because you don't necessarily do unto others as you think that they would do unto you.
Did you ever ask him that question as to whether he would ban you if he had the power?
Not directly, but yesterday I talked to him a little bit about that because he said that he would prefer especially to censor Jesse more than me.
Yeah, but he's first and then you.
Right.
At the one last thing, and I promise I'll let this go. At the Nuremberg trials back in the early 60s, when Eichmann was on trial, the illegal Nuremberg trials, kangaroo court, one thing that he said, whether you hate the Nazis, and I'm sure you do, or whatever, he said, first they come for us, and after they get us, they come for you. And that's exactly what's happening today. Those were prophetic words of warning. And most of your callers that are Negroes, they want this to happen. Not there may be like, what's his name? The one guy from California. He's not in that category. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, the one that you had talking to the creep from Arizona yesterday, he's not a white hater. But a lot of the callers that you get are, and I can't help but believe they would not only censor you, they'd throw you in jail if they could. That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree or not, but...
Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate you, man.
God bless you. Thank you.
All right. Bye.